Uy, hulaan ko. Siguro nandito ka para panoorin yung video about global divide, no? Nako, hindi ka nagkakamali ng video na pinanood. So, I'll give you 5 seconds to think about and gather your thoughts whenever you hear the words global divide. I guess that's 5 seconds, no? So, before we tackle sa global divide, uh, i-discuss muna natin yung pinaka-root neto, which is globalization. What is globalization? Simply ito yung interconnectedness and economic growth ng mga bansa. Siyempre, kapag may positive, may negative. Dito napapasok yung global divide. Global divide refers to the inequalities and gaps na nag-i-exist across the globe. And we are here to compare and contrast the different types of globalization in the global north and the global south. Without further ado, let's start.
Good day! Our topic for today is financial globalization. Financial globalization refers to the increasing integration of national financial markets and institutions, leading to greater interdependence among countries' financial systems. Financial globalization in the global north refers to the increasing interconnectedness of advanced economies with the global financial markets. The countries in the global north, such as the US, Canada, Western Europe, and Japan, are the main players in shaping and driving global finance. Here is an image illustrating financial globalization in the global north, highlighting interconnected financial markets, multinational banks, and advanced fintech technology. Financial globalization in the global south refers to the increasing integration of developing countries into the global financial system. This phenomenon includes the flow of capital, financial services, investments, and trade across borders. While financial globalization brings opportunities for growth, it also represents risk, especially for countries in global south. This image presents a complex and provoking visual representation, financial globalization in the global south. In short, the global north enjoys stability, low borrowing costs, and technological advancements, while the global south faces economic vulnerability, high debt, and dependency on external investments.
Contrast in global north and global south, there are three differences between them in terms of financial globalization. So the first one is financial systems. So the global north has advanced, well-regulated financial markets, while the global south has less developed or emerging financial systems with weaker regulatory frameworks. The second one is access to capital. Countries in the global north have higher and cheaper access to international capital, while those in the global south face higher borrowing costs and limited access to global financial markets. So the third one is policy influence. So the global north, being wealthier and more politically influential, shapes global financial policies and institutions. For example, the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. While the global south has limited influence over global financial rules and frameworks, and often adopting policies dictated by these international bodies.
When it comes in trading, the global north mostly export capital-intensive goods and services, while the global south mostly exports resource-intensive goods such as minerals and crops. Furthermore, in investment, rich nations of the global north contributing to the GDP of nations in the global south, meaning that development can come at the expense of dependency. In labor market, it is cheap labor that most manufacturing and services industries from the global north and seek from the countries of the global south. In terms of economic power, the global north dominates more leading positions in the international economic organizations, including the IMF and the World Bank.
In contrast, However, in wealth distribution, it is evident that the global north has a lot of power and has created and maintains vast wealth and resource disparity. In addition to the development goals of the global south represent simple concerns such as poverty and eradication, as well as infrastructure enhancement, while the other side, global north, represent the preservation of and enhancement of status.
What is technological globalization? Technological globalization is the rapid spread of technology across the globe. It increases interconnection of global markets through advancements. Dito papasok yung mga technological advancements na patuloy na nag-evolve sa panahon natin ngayon. Now, let's start sa similarities ng Global North and the Global South in terms of technological globalization. First is the rise of internet. Both the Global North and the Global South have seen the rise of internet, though they have different status na itatakal natin mamaya. Next is technological impact. For both regions, technology has a visible impact that supports social change, in which promotes technological advancements. Lastly is the role of social media. Social media has been a significant tool in both Global North and Global South. It serves as a platform in which lets people speak their opinions and thoughts. Now we will tackle the differences in Global North and Global South. First is the access of technology. Ito na yung sinasabi natin kanina. So, despite of the visible rise of internet, the Global South faces challenges such as slow internet speed, delayed access to newer technology, and less reliable infrastructure. On the other hand, Global North experiences fast internet speed such as 5G connections and advanced technology. Next is digital literacy. In the Global North, digital literacy is high and most people has access to digital education. It makes adapting to a new trend or technology a lot easier. This goes the opposite for the Global South. The Global South has lower digital literacy and difficult and experiences difficulty of accessing digital education. This creates a barrier that hinders the full usage of technology. And for our last is infrastructure development. For Global South, the infrastructures are often underdeveloped, especially in rural areas. On the other hand, Global North experiences well-established infrastructures. So overall, we can conclude that despite of the rapid changes in technology, the Global North is more advanced than the Global South.
Hello everyone, my name is Carla Presbitero from BTB TED 15 FSM. And today I will tackle about the political globalization, a comparison between the global north and the global south. So first, let's identify what is political globalization. Political globalization refers to the process by which political decisions and activities are becoming increasingly internationalized, leading to a diminishing role of national borders and a rise in global governance structure. Although there are differences between global north and global south, but they also have similarities in terms of political globalization. So these are the similarities between the global north and the global south. So first is rise of international organizations. Second is spread of ideas and culture. Third is increasing interdependence, and fourth is decline of state power. So first is rise of international organizations. So what does it mean? So both the global north and the global south are experiencing an increase in the influence and power of international organizations such as the United Nations, the World Trade Organizations, and the International Monetary Fund. These organizations serve as platform for interaction and cooperation between countries on various aspects. So second is spread of ideas and culture. Political globalization accelerates the spread of ideas and culture around the world. Ideas of democracy, human rights, and development are becoming more prevalent in both the global north and the global south. Ang pangatlo naman po is increasing interdependence. Countries in the global north and global south are becoming more interconnected due to increased trade, investment, and migration. This interdependence brings new challenges and opportunities in the political arena. And the last one naman po is decline of state power. Political globalization causes a decrease in the power of states in some aspects. For example, the rise of transnational corporations and non-governmental organizations (NGOs) poses a challenge to the sovereignty of states. Yan. So, sa madaling salita po ay ang Global North and Global South ay both nakaka-experience ng trends in terms po sa political globalization.
Political globalization. The difference between the global north and the south. In the global north, countries tend to have more developed and stable political systems, with established democratic institutions. They often have more resources and access to technology to influence global politics. In global south may be characterized by more fragmented and less stable governance structure. Global south is often marked by challenges such as corruption, political instability, and weak governance. While some countries in the South have made progress towards democratizations, and others still struggle with conflicts and human rights violations. As a result, these countries may have limited capacity or resources to engage effectively in global political processes. Example, the difference between the global north and the south. Sa global north po is mataas po yung standard nila sa pamumuhay. Like po sa North America and sa Europe, maayos po yung country. While the South naman po is limited lang po yung access nila sa educations because of poverty and corruptions.
The term of cultural globalization describes the blending of cultures on a global scale. As a result of migration, trade, and technological advancement, despite the fact that this is frequently perceived as a fair process, the global north is a developed countries and the global south is a developing countries that have a very different effects from it.
So what is the difference or the contrast between the global north and the global south? First is the economic development. So in the global north, it comprises of high-income industrialized countries like the US, Canada, Japan, and most of Western Europe. These countries have diversified economies through technologies and high standards of living, whilst in the global south, it includes the low-income, middle-income countries, primarily in Africa, Latin America, Asia, and parts of Oceania. These nations often rely on agriculture, natural resources, low-skilled labor, and face challenges in industrialization and economic diversification.
The Earth is warming, but the impact isn't equal. The global north, with its developed economies, has driven the majority of emissions. They prioritize economic growth, often at the expense of the environment. The global south, despite from contributing less, is suffering the most. Deforestation, extreme weather, and the lack of resources make them vulnerable. The consequences of climate change in the global south impact us all, but we have the solutions. Renewable energy, sustainable practices, and global cooperation are needed.
Here's to compare in the sociological globalization. The global north and global south share some meaningful similarities that connect their experiences. The two regions share interflows of cultural exchange that pour ideas, music, practices into one another and creating a common global culture. They face similar climate change challenges and economic inequality, demanding they cooperate with each other for solution. Related to this is that of migration patterns which connect both ends of migrations, where people crossing over borders seek opportunities and create diverse communities. Ultimately, such experiences show that we all belong to a large interconnected globe.
Countries of sociological globalization between the global north and the global south can be understood through several key dimensions. The first one is economic disparities. While the global north, generally more economically developed, greater access to resources, technology, and wealth, while the global south often faces economic challenges, including poverty and limited access to global markets, leading to unequal benefits from globalization. Second one is about cultural influence and identity. Well, the global north dominates global cultural production, exporting media, values, and lifestyle that shape global narratives. They can lead to cultural homogenization, where local cultures and the global south are overshadowed, while global south rich in the cultural diversity but often struggles to assert its identity globally. Local tradition may as northern cultural norms gain prominence, leading to concern about cultural loss and assimilation. The third one is about social connectivity and networks. For global north, high levels of internet access and advanced technology foster strong global social networks, enable participants in global conversation and movements, while for global south, connectivity is improving. Many regions still face significant barriers such as a limited internet access and infrastructure challenges. This hinders their ability to engage in a global networks effectively. Let's proceed. The number 4 is about political representation and power. For global north holds significant sway in international institutions, shaping global policies that often reflect northern interests. This leads to a disparity in how globalization affects different regions. For global south naman is about generally underrepresented in a global governance structures, making it difficult to advocate for their interests. This lack of political power can inequalities in the global system. See, the number 5 is about migration and labor dynamics. For global north, attract migrants for labor, but often implement restrictive immigration policies. For global south is experience significant outmigration, particularly of skills workers seeking better opportunities to abroad. Those who remain often deal with economic instability and limited job prospects. Lastly is about environmental impact. For global north, historically northern countries have contributed significantly to environmental degradation through industrialization in resource exploitation. They have more resources to invest in sustainable technologies and practices, but often face criticism for not taking adequate responsibility for their historical emissions. For Global South naman is about countries in the Global South are often disproportionately affected by climate change and environmental degradation. Despite contributing less to the problem, many lack the financial and technical resources to adapt the environmental changes, leading to calls for global environmental justice and equitable responsibility sharing and in climate action.
Surprise! Ayan, so pasensya na po kung medyo matagal po yung aming video and sana po is may natutunan and naintindihan niyo po yung explanation ng bawat isa. And we can conclude na despite of having positive feedbacks such as technological advancements and economic growth is meron pa ring umuusbong na inequalities and gaps sa mundo, which is yung global divide. And we can address this by making an effort to promote fair economic policies and have a greater access to technologies and education. In addition is pwede nating mas i-utilize yung mga na-offer ng globalization. Ayan. And magamit ng tama yung benefits and ma-share more broadly para lahat tayo ay makinabang. Maraming salamat po. I am Lemuel Quisel from Group 2 FSM